5 years from now, your life is either going to look widely different or exactly the same. Because the truth is, your future doesn't start in 5 years. It starts now. The choices you make today, they're setting the stage for who you'll be in 2030. And it all comes down to 5 brutal decisions, and most people screw every single one. Go ahead, you can click off and pretend this doesn't matter, that you still have time. But don't act shocked when you wake up 5 years from now, stuck in the same job, same paycheck and same regrets. Not because life was unfair to you, but because you either made the wrong choices, or worse, made none at all. So listen up closely, because I'm going to reveal to you the 5 critical choices you face every single day, which will either set your life up for success or lock you in for 5 years of regret. Comfort versus discomfort. Let me make you a bit uncomfortable. Most of you are addicted to comfort, and that's exactly why you're on the easy path to end up being broke, lost, and average. Trust me, I've been there myself, but you need to understand you don't grow in comfort. You grow in discomfort, difficult conversations, brutal decisions, that 5 a.m. wake up when you don't feel like it. But here's truth that no one wants to hear it. If you choose comfort now, life will punish you later by paying with an uncomfortable life. Do you think I don't know that comfort feels great? It's that warm bed, that just enough paycheck, that quick dopamine hit that you call rewarding yourself. But nothing meaningful growth's there. Literally, too much comfort ruins the person you could become, and your brain does it too, and that's neuroplasticity. You feed your brain with junk, and it literally becomes junk. Think about this next time. Every time you choose to scroll instead of study, watching Netflix over workout, comfort food over nourishing your body, you're literally training your brain to stay weak, to crave what's comfortable and avoids anything that requires effort. You are building the exact life you wish to escape. Comfort is the enemy of progress, and it's not just something that holds you back, it's your silent enemy. So next time you crave comfort, treat it like a rare reward, not your life path. Most people want to reward themselves with comfort without doing anything worth rewarding. Pause for a sec and ask yourself, is this comfort right now leading me up for reward or pain later? You see, when you constantly choose what's comfortable for you, it alters the neurochemistry of the brain and its functions, because your brain adapts to what you feed it. Next time when you are about to choose what's comfortable and uncomfortable, remind yourself this. You choose comfort now, eating fast food or scrolling, you pay with regret later. Choose discomfort now by choosing learning over Netflix, and you will get paid dividends for the rest of your life. And this is what unfortunately many people are still doing. They run away from discomfort by choosing what's comfortable for them. That's what they stay soft, broke and unhappy, because they don't challenge themselves and their mental muscles enough to grow. But if you experience it, you become resilient and unstoppable. And this isn't motivational fluff, it's pure neuroscience. Discomfort is literally where growth lives. That first brutal gym workout, that Sunday night alone, books at desk while everyone's out partying or getting drunk, that 5 a.m. alarm that makes you want to cry, but you still show up anyway. It's unglamorous and gritty sometimes, but it builds the version of you you've been pretending to want. Angela Duckworth, a legit psychologist, not some TikTok guru, studied top performers across business, education, military. Do you know what they have in common and what set them apart from the rest? They didn't quit. They chose discomfort over and over again. And guess what? The gritty ones outlast the gifted every single time. Literally, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So maybe you're not the smartest, neither am I, but if you commit yourself to choosing what's uncomfortable, even if it means suffering longer than everyone else, you'll go places most people never will. And I can say this with certainty, because I am living proof. I spent my 20s either broke, lonely, or sacrificing. While others were chasing comfort or even fun, I was chasing transformation, attending therapy, working on my finances, and choosing the hard path when it could have been better to follow the easier one. I sacrificed my younger years, not because I wanted to suffer, but because I refused to suffer the same pain in my future. And now I've built a life I am proud to live, finances that make me feel secure, and mindset that made me resilient. Because you see, in the end, every choice comes down to this. Will you stay comfortable and stuck? Or will you face discomfort and finally change your life? Consume versus create. Let me ask you something that might wake you up. How many hours this week did you spend watching other people live their dreams? Be honest with yourself, probably too many. Now put aside entertaining content, that's a different story. But think about the time you spent scrolling through motivational and inspirational content, feeling like you were learning. while in reality you weren't creating anything yourself. This is not a real growth. It's a productive procrastination, but still procrastination. Consuming feels easy, but real progress comes when you start building something of your own. And this video you are watching right now, it's the break point. Either you act and implement, or you lie to yourself again. I know consumption is addictive. It feels productive sometimes, but do you really think watching self-improvement motivational videos make you better just by watching? Do you think watching that 10-minute change your life video did you something? That's like watching a gym video and thinking your abs will show up tomorrow. Nah. Consuming motivational and educational content means nothing unless you actively implement what you learn from them. In other words, passive consumption tricks your brain thinking you progress while still staying the same. Ask yourself, what did you get from this? Did you get inspired enough to execute and build the life you won't regret? Or it was just a quick dopamine hit? Keep doing this, and 5 years from now, you'll hate yourself for wasting time. Real growth starts the moment you stop watching and start doing. You're either actively building your future or watching someone else build theirs. You want real results. Start implementing. Science shows that learning through action strengthens neural pathways in the brain, making knowledge stick. Because when you are creating, applying, and executing, you actively strengthen neural pathways far beyond what shallow watching or reading can achieve. Don't click away. Don't jump to the next random video that only gives you the illusion of progress, unless you actively implement what you've learned. Pause and ask yourself, what am I doing right now that my future self will hate me for? Because if you don't actively build and create, you're not living. You're just a spectator. And simply watching your life from behind the scenes won't change it. I can tell you myself, I don't create content just for views. If I did, I would burn out quickly and quit. I create and I live it. Everything I teach, I've either learned and then tried and tested on myself. And I want you to do the same. Pause this video. Reflect on things I'm saying. Apply it. Select the choices you avoid and act like your future in 5 years from now depends on it. Because it does. And trust me, your future self doesn't care how many motivational YouTube videos you binged or how many self-help books you highlighted. It only cares about one thing, the results. What did you build? What did you create when no one was watching? Because 5 years from now, you will either live off what you build or still watch others do it. Be mindful of that. Instant gratification versus long-term thinking. You might think you're too lazy and weak for always choosing instant gratification, but it's deeper than that. Your brain has been hijacked. Many of those social media algorithms or big food companies, they don't just sell their products or services, they sell easy and quick dopamine. Think about it. Why do you constantly crave McDonald's even though you know it's wrecking your body? It's not just food, it's chemicals and additives that are designed to hijack your brain reward system and keep you hooked. And I know this feeling too. There was a time I couldn't go a day without grabbing a coffee, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Not because I needed it, but because I was addicted to caffeine. In my mind, caffeine became a magic pill, lifting my mood when I felt low or simply helping me pass the time. But over time, I realised the things I craved started feeling dull. They no longer gave me the same level of comfort because they were automatic. I was building a life of easy comfort instead of discipline. So the same applies to chasing instant gratification. Your reward system in the brain becomes so messed up, it's wired for shortcuts. And trust me, your brain on dopamine doesn't care about your goals or your future. It only craves the next dopamine hit. Same thing with social media. Every time you refresh your feed, watch Netflix or spend time scrolling, you are training your brain to crave one thing, instant gratification. That quick hit of dopamine feels great, but here's a problem. It's not free. It comes at the expense of your future. The truth is, the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every day shape who you become. Over time, they compound. And if you don't change that now, your identity 5 years from now will be built on the choices you made today. Remember the Stanford marshmallow experiment? It wasn't just a research about whether kids would prefer one marshmallow now or wait 15 minutes for 2. It was a test of their character. Follow-up studies found that children who patiently waited and resisted instant gratification ended up crushing in life later. You might ask why? Because at a young age, they were building the muscles many people still lack, the muscle of self-control and discipline. Next time you are choosing between Netflix, social media, or your future, think of those choices as small marshmallows in disguise. Research shows that our brain naturally prefers quick rewards. That's because 2 regions of the brain are at a war with each other. The limbic system, the emotional part, acts like a chimp, demanding an instant gratification. And the logical part of your brain, prefrontal cortex, acts as a strategic leader, understanding the benefits of the long-term gains over short-term ones. Every moment you resist instant gratification, even when it feels insignificant, you're training your brain in patience and discipline. And over time, those small choices compound. You're laying the concrete that builds an unshakable foundation for your future. Think of the discipline you build today, not just a habit, but the investment in the person you will become in the future. Avoidance versus healing. You can wear a smile, post happy selfies and respond, "I'm fine." But you know it's not the truth, because you feel it. It's that tightness in your chest, those racing thoughts, that war in your mind you downplay isn't happening. So you keep yourself busy instead, chasing dopamine and telling yourself you will deal with it later, but later never comes. I know avoidance feels safe. It's comfortable. I've been there too, but it's a trap. It's like putting a plaster on a bullet wound and hoping it would numb the pain. Every time you run from it, the wound deepens, infecting how you live. Studies show that avoidance gives temporary relief, but long-term damage. It wires your brain to fear the very thing that would set you free, confronting yourself. Healing is hard because it's painful. It's not a relaxing and glamorous spa day. It's messy. It means confronting yourself and facing that discomfort. You are actively trained yourself to avoid. Research shows that people who confront their shadow, their anxieties, deeper fears, and their past, they build greater emotional resilience over time. And that acts as an invisible protecting layer. It won't magically erase life challenges, but will make you resilient and more prepared to deal with them the right way. I know the healing process is messy, but you know what is messier? Walking through life and dragging that invisible suitcase you never really unpacked. Think about this. Next time you are standing at the door of a new relationship, a new opportunity, new life chapter, you're excited, ready to take a step forward. But there is a problem. You are carrying a suitcase. It's heavy, stuffed to the brim, packed with unprocessed trauma. The moment you step inside, the zippers opens and everything spills out. Those old childhood rejections, lingering doubts and resentment from past failures. Those voices in your mind that whisper, "You are not good enough. You will fail just like last time." And the worst part of it, you thought you left it all behind. That's why you moved forward, starting fresh in a new relationship that once broke you, or maybe a new goal after the last one failed. But unprocessed trauma, which is your invisible baggage, doesn't magically disappear. It waits patiently for the right moment until it backfires. I know healing feels hard, but ignoring it is harder. Because if you don't unpack your past, it will unpack itself. But here's the truth. When you choose to confront and unpack your baggage head-on, when you commit to do the inner work, you build something that lasts for life. Victim mentality versus responsibility. Let's be honest, most people's future is already decided, not because of a bad luck or a fate, but because they refuse to make that one foundational choice that dictates everything else that I mentioned earlier. Because when you make this one choice, and when you choose the right one, the rest will fall into place. Being a victim or being a victor. So which one is you really? Be honest with yourself, because the truth, it will set you free. Think about it every time you say, "It's not my fault, it's the government. It's my difficult upbringing. That one person who hurt me." You've already lost the game. You just handed over the keys to your life. You're no longer in control. You're just a spectator, passively watching how your life story unfolds. It's like steering a ship. Either you take the wheel, or life takes it for you. And when you live that way, you're trapped in what psychologists call an external locus of control. You might ask why? Because when you believe life happens to you, instead of through you, you stop taking action. You wait for things to change instead of making the change yourself. You hesitate, and allowing others dictate your future. If you are stuck the same patterns, the same place, same problems, there is one truth you need to face. Your life is your responsibility, not your parents, not the government, not luck or perfect timing, just you. I can guarantee most people don't even want to hear that. I've been one of them too, because it's easier to point fingers on your past, your environment and circumstances, than to face yourself and admit the truth. The only person responsible for your life is you. Look at world's most successful people. Many of them came from nothing. Difficult upbringing, difficult past. No shortcuts. They didn't have a perfect past, but they created a greater future by making the right choices. And that's the difference between being a victim and being a victor. Victims blame others and wait for change. But victors take ownership and become the change. Understand this, choosing responsibility over being a victim doesn't get your life harder. It makes it easier. Not because your problems magically disappear, but because you start believing you have the power to control them before they control you. That shift happens when you develop an internal locus of control, the belief that your actions, choices, and mindset shape your future instead of being shaped by it. Because here's the truth, the moment you take control, you realize the power was always yours. So with that in mind, are you waiting for life to change, or are you changing your life? If any of this resonated with you, leave a comment. Which choice do you struggle with the most? And if you're ready to level up and become the next Healthy Mind CEO, hit subscribe now. See you in the next video.